it's Friday, which means another episode of People Like You. My name is Emmanuel Osaseri, your online personal trainer and wellness coach, and today I am met with a very special guest, my cousin, Uwe Aswani. So Uwe is family. Very excited to have Uwe on. Uwe's going to share what he does in the fitness realm. He's also in med school right now as well. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Uwe. Tell us a little something about yourself. Let's get it going.
Yo, what's good, everybody? My name is Uwe Aswani, and just like Emmanuel said, I'm his cousin. Currently doing the med school thing right now, and trying to get on my fitness realm. Not a bodybuilder by any means necessary, but I do advocate for good health and exercise. So
Excellent. You say you don't work out, but it looks like you have massive calves. And we walked in here like freaking Todd Gurley or something.
Hey man, I think that, to be honest, man, that's genetics, man. I've had big calves since like first grade, so
yeah.
But hey, I'll take it though.
Yeah, there you go, man. So okay, so you're in the medical field, and what got you into? Let's start there. What got you into an interest in health and medicine?
Yeah, health and medicine. To be honest with you, man, as a young person, I always had an interest in science. I was a little bit kind of nerdy, like, reading and into books and stuff like that. But medicine, to answer that medicine part, we actually had one of my classmates, her mother came in for like career day. She was like a doctor, and she had the stethoscope and the scrubs and everything. And I just thought it was like the coolest thing ever. And so I remember going home and telling my parents about, I think I want to be a doctor. And African parents, you tell them they want to be a doctor, they're just like, it was like the greatest thing ever. So from there, it just my love or my interest in medicine grew. Definitely grew over the years.
Right.
I think, to be honest, over like high school and through undergrad, it somewhat kind of wavered. I was kind of unsure about what I wanted to do. But I think postgraduate, once I was working, I worked as a scribe in a surgical clinic. That's really where the love was solidified. Right. I was, just seeing what a doctor does from day to day, from 8 to 5, and I was like, this is just what I need to do. So, I just, took my MCAT, took my board exams, and, here I am.
Nice. So what are some things that you've learned so far as like general fitness and wellness that a lot of our listeners will be surprised to hear?
So especially like in medical school, obviously, you're learning about so many different pathologies and symptoms. One of the things that has been so alarming to me is just how effective just regular health and exercise is. Right. I think that whenever you're looking at a lot of diseases, so many things can be traced back just to hypertension, diabetes, and these are things that are very preventable. Things that with good exercise, good eating choices can help prevent. Especially, us being African American, we have a higher propensity towards a lot of these diseases, hypertension and heart diseases and different things like that. And so that's one thing that was very alarming to me, to where I was like, especially me, I want to go into the field, I want to be a physician, so I try to be, I try to practice what I preach and, eat healthy and make sure I'm exercising and stuff like that.
So what are some of the benefits that you've seen? Because everybody knows that exercise is good for you, but you kind of touched on it right now with hypertension, diabetes, these prevalent illnesses that a lot of people have. Talk about how exercise has a direct effect on that. Are there any like testimonials that you've seen as far as clients that came in with these terminal illnesses or whatever it may be that started an exercise routine and then that kind of impacted them? Kind of talk about that.
No, most definitely. I can give you a direct example, even in my own family, because our family, we have a lineage towards hypertension, diabetes. Right. In fact, even my mother, if you've seen my mom is very in shape.
She looks good, man.
Yeah, definitely. And even at a young age of 31, she was diagnosed with hypertension. And so, it wasn't because she overate, it's just family, family issues or whatever. But at that time, she just took it upon herself to exercise and eat well, and she's been so on top of it and been a huge role model for me. And with her, I mean, she's never had any issues. Like, never has went to the hospital. No symptoms, nothing of that sort. And I mean, it's been how many years now? So just from my own family, that is just one testament that I can give towards the benefits of good health and exercise.
For sure. So let's talk about that. Let's segue into that. What are some things that you've got from your mom that has helped you, that you still practice today?
Yeah, so just like I mentioned before, man, my mom is one of the biggest health nuts. Even as a youngin, I remember struggling with my weight, and my mom was just always on my tail, like, trying to.
I didn't know you were overweight.
Yeah, I was a little. Yeah, so even in undergrad, I had lost like 30 pounds, and we could touch on that a little bit later. I know that you asked what my mom. I think your question was what my mom did.
What you got from her?
Yeah, what I got from her. I think one of the biggest things is just food discipline. Discipline with eating. A lot of times, we just, especially here in America, we just want to eat till we're full. We just want to eat. And I think one of the things that she really instilled in me is just, you're basically needing to fuel your body for energy. So, you don't necessarily have to eat every single time till you're just full, but, just to sustain yourself. And these are things that I struggle with. Like, I had a really tough time with that growing up, but I think as I got older and, started to understand, more about my body and health, I started to take in a lot of those sentiments that she taught me.
Yeah.
So.
And we're both Nigerian. We grew up Nigerian culture, and so our food can be very.
Bro, listen, man. Full of listen. You ever had the fufu with the Nothing but carbs and starch, bro. Talk about it.
So like you said though, portion size control.
Yeah.
I even have I read a couple of blog posts about portion size control. So I'm not a big stickler when it comes to what you eat, more so how much you eat for weight loss and stuff like that. Yeah. And so I think it's really important to get into the habit for a lot of people to get into the habit of not so much how much I'm eating, but not so much what I'm eating, but how much I'm eating.
Great point. Excellent point. I mean, portion control is so big because, like, just like you're saying, I mean, you can eat, you don't really have to be, too particular, but I just think the portions is something that's really essential, because if you're just hitting, your calorie marks or, different nutrient groups, you should for the most part be okay.
Right.
You don't have to just be a super stickler. I know there's people who sitting out there weighing macros and stuff like that, which is good, but as that's not necessarily feasible for everybody. Right. But just having a general sense of portion control,
Yeah, my philosophy is very simple. It's with weight loss, anyways. It's staying full off of as little calories as you can. And one of the things that keep us full is staying hydrated, drinking water, whether it's a bottle of water before your meal or after your meal. And then just kind of waiting around and seeing if you're still hungry after that. So let's talk about hydration. What are some, I think I want to talk about hydration because I'm somebody that suffers from dehydration a lot. Like I can drink water like a well and still like show signs of dehydration. Yeah. So from the medical world, talk about what you've learned, what you know about hydration, and kind of educate us on that.
Most definitely. I think, hydration is one of the most important pieces towards, living like a healthy lifestyle. And just like you mentioned before, your body is, I think around, 60 to 70% water. You know what I mean? So that is a large part of who we are anyway.
Right.
And just like I said, just with everything, you mentioned with hydration, but also, with exercising, you're needing to be hydrated in order to, get that essential workout. As well as, using, even from a dietary standpoint, replacing a soda with water, a lot of times can help, keep the calories down and, prevent you from a lot of these, diseases and different things like that. Yeah. So water plays a big role in a lot of different areas. I cannot stress the importance of water enough. Like, if you go into my fridge right now, it's just nothing but water, straight water bottle.
I carry around the bro jug.
The bro jug, okay, you want to know, okay, you got the little bro jug. Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, any health person, just like my cousin was saying, who's very, knowledgeable in the health field, the essentials of drinking water. I mean, that's why I think people carry those gallons of jugs just to enforce of drinking a gallon of water a day.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know a health book, I don't know a health coach that isn't going to stress the importance of water. So, that should definitely tell you something. So.
Yeah, and to your point about replacing sodas with water, a lot of people don't realize it, but sugar, the amount of sugar in soda and just sugar in general dehydrates you as well too. Exactly. So you're not only getting the calories of drinking more soda, but you're also dehydrating yourself and having a greater need for water as well too. Yeah. So I think that point can't be overemphasized at all. Where are you at right now with your fitness with your fitness journey?
Man, to be honest with you, man, I'm doing pretty well. Like I mentioned earlier, I think around like 5 or 6 years ago, man, I had been struggling with weight since my childhood, and I just came to a point to where I said, I gotta lose this weight, man. I was just feeling it. I was very tired. I didn't feel like going to class. I think the word I would use would be lethargic.
Yeah.
And so I just took that semester and I said, you know what, I'm gonna lose the weight, and I just cut out all fast food. I was going to the gym almost every other day to every day, and I ended up losing those 30 pounds. And so since then I've been able to maintain the weight off. But I think over the last probably a couple of months, I've even dropped another 10 pounds. Nice. So I'm the lightest I've been probably since 9th or 10th grade, and I feel amazing. Yeah. And not even just from a health standpoint, but, going to medical school and, I'm in the hospital all day. It just gives me more energy. Yeah. I have more energy to focus and, go in the hospital and do what I need to do, just from, feeling energized and feeling healthy. Right. So to answer your question about where I am, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. Right now I try to, med school, sometimes it gets kind of hectic, absolutely. But I do try to go to the gym probably 3 to 4 times a week. Food has been pretty good. I mean, especially, being on my own. I know I'm not one of those people who can just portion my food well. So I'm very particular about the kind of foods that I buy. So, I try to stay away from a lot of carbs. I try to emphasize more on vegetables, right. Fruits. Right. Those kind of foods and stuff like that. So, yeah. But to be honest, I think I could improve more in the food aspect, because I think my cooking is a little bit lacking. To be honest with you, I'm working on it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to work with cooking different things here and there, because I think that would take my health to the next level if I could really just hone in on the cooking aspect and being able to cook different foods. Right. So
yeah, dude, lots to unpack right there. I want to go back to what you talked about with losing the weight and keeping it off. Yeah. I had my friend Jordan. I want to say, I could be wrong, episode 9, one of the first 10 episodes, and she was somebody who lost a lot of weight, gained it all back. Yeah. And then lost it all again, and she kept it off this time. And she kind of shared about some of the things. A lot of it was just her mentality. Talk about the struggles of keeping it off, because losing it is one thing. But I can't tell you how many people I've seen lose weight and then gain it back. So what's been your secret? What's worked for you?
Yeah. Okay. That's a really good question. Man, and I think keeping the weight off is a different struggle on its own, rather than, because a lot of times people feel oh, I've lost the weight, I'm done, this is the end game, this is the end goal. But no, it's literally maintaining and trying to keep the weight off is a battle within its own. Right. One thing that's really been essential to me, and it's very simple, for me, is keeping a scale. Every single morning, I make sure that I weigh myself, I kind of have a good idea of where I'm at. And I think that's very big, because I think back in the days when I was a little bit heavier, you know your body. When, all right, I feel it. Yeah, when you feel it. And then what happens is sometimes, I don't want to weigh myself, because if I get on that scale, I'm not going to like what I see. It's going to, it's going to put me in a bad mood. So that way, if you're always weighing yourself every single morning, you know exactly where you're at, and, kind of what you need to do. Really, to be honest with you, the main thing that's helped me keep the weight off is I know what it took for me to lose the weight.
Right.
Like, I knew the struggles,
Right.
I knew
Right.
the sacrifice I had to make, and I just knew how I felt. And it's like, I just never want to go back.
Yeah.
I never ever want to go back.
Yeah.
And so with those sentiments that are in my head, I'm just like, nah. You know what I mean? I got to do whatever I can to make sure that I, because I feel good. I feel amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
I really like that. Man, that's such a. I was talking with somebody right now. Actually, his name is Francis. He'll be on. I'll air his episode in a couple of. I'll have him on in a couple weeks. But we were talking today about. We're talking today about like how it's so easy to gain the weight, but it takes a certain mindset to keep the weight off. And
Mm-hmm.
we were just talking about this, and I like what you said just now. You focused on you said that you knew what it took to lose weight in the first place. Now that you're here, let's keep it off. And I think a lot of people have this like goal-oriented mindset where my goal is to lose weight just for this wedding, and then after that, whatever happens. Yeah. And so it kind of reminds me of a point from a book. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's called Atomic Habits. Okay. And it talks about the importance of setting a system over a goal. And so your goal is nice. Your goal, he said something like, your goal is nice. Your goal gives you a direction, but your system is what keeps you going. Your system towards that goal. And so it sounds like you and many others who have been able to keep the weight off have been able to develop this system that, yes, it gets you to your goal, but it also keeps you going.
Yeah. Man, that's an excellent point that you made. I know that you've done your homework. I can tell.
I stay trying to read.
You've done your homework. I got to give it to you, bro.
Yeah.
But man, that is a big thing. Like, because this health and fitness journey is never ending.
Yeah.
It really is never ending. I think even someone like you who's who's educated and knows so much about it. I mean, even for you, I'm sure that it's still a day-to-day thing.
Yeah.
So that's for everybody. And I think, so to touch on your point, for me, it just became, it wasn't even really, I've reached my goal.
Right.
It just became, now this is my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, so it's not, like there is no, once I get here, I just let my guard down.
Right.
It's just like, this is my way of life. And I mean, just to kind of touch on it, both of us, we were actually in Houston this weekend, for my brother's wedding. Shout out to my younger brother,
congratulations.
and Danielle. Shout out to y'all. But even at the wedding, I'm not gonna lie, man, I was eating so much jollof, brother. I was picking out a little bit, but it's like, I can't just, even though, I feel like I'm in a good way, I can't just say, man, I just ate all that food, I could just do whatever I want. It's like, okay, I know that I've, I kind of slacked off a little bit, so now I'm back here. It's like, okay, I have to try to, retract back and get back to my
balance it out.
Exactly, balance it out.
Yeah.
And so not to go on it too long, but it has to become a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Instead of just that end goal. I think lifestyle is the mindset that people need to have when it comes to losing weight.
Yeah. Yeah. And to kind of touch on that too, because I'm glad you were transparent. I'll go ahead and double down on that as well too. I have bad eating days too. I mean, we were in Houston, Texas. Like,
yeah, bro.
We went to some restaurants.
Oh, hey, boy. Listen, tell the people about the Turkey Leg Hut though.
Man, there's this. Listen, if you're in, I'll give them a free plug. If you're in Houston, Texas, listen to this. Cool. There's a spot called the Turkey Hut that would change your life. But anyway, so we ate and we went to all these different places, and I'm the type of person where I balance things out. I take my calories by the week, right?
Yeah.
So here's how it goes. It goes 3,500 calories equals 1 pound of fat.
Okay.
And so let's just make up numbers. Let's say I went 500 calories over my caloric goal for the day on Monday.
Yeah.
Then on Tuesday, I'll make that up by eating, 1,000 less than I did the previous day, which gives me like -500 that I usually will eat. And I just kind of balance it and balance and scale it throughout the week, so that by the end of the week, I still met my caloric goal of staying within a certain amount. Because if you try to eat strict, or you try to stay within calories per day, it's kind of restrictive. So if basically what I'm trying to say is, if on Tuesday you eat a little bit loose, Wednesday I'll eat a little bit less.
Gotcha.
Thursday I turn up a little bit too much and drink too many caloric calories. Then Friday I'll balance it out and hydrate myself with water, like we were talking about. And so that's how I kind of look at my calories by the week, and try to make sure that I, like, by Saturday evening, I've met my calories for the week. That way it's a little bit, you know what I mean?
No, and man, hey, listen, I might even steal that. I like the whole weekly thing, man, because you're right. Like, at the end of the day, none of us are perfect, and we're gonna have days to where, we're not on top of our game, but it's just as long as you're on top of it. So maybe if you've had a bad day or two, it's just okay, that's cool. But maybe within those next couple of days, try to make up that deficit.
For sure.
So
for sure.
I'm 100% with you on that.
Nice, man. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up in a little bit. I want to ask you one more question though. As a med student, I know that life changes. You just started. Congratulations to you, by the way.
Thank you.
You just started out here, transferred out from Texas, and so your life is about to get really busy. Really busy. So if it hasn't already gotten to the extreme amount, what are some things, or what are some changes that you've already had to make as far as your own personal health and fitness? So you mentioned basically that you go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. That might actually change. So what are some things? Are you looking into home exercises? Just looking into eating better? How are you going to kind of balance that?
Okay, that's a really good question. In regards to the exercise, right now, my rotations, they're not too terrible, so I can still make my gym goals for the week.
For sure.
But I do know that later on I'm going to have some rotations to where it might be difficult to go 3 or 4 times a week.
Right.
And we don't really have like a gym at my apartment. The gym there is not too good, so I am very dependent on the gym that that I have a membership at. So for me, I think it would just be a little bit easier to kind of focus on the eating, the eating aspect. And I think one thing for me, especially being in the hospital or working in the clinic, is just I've had to really intensify my discipline, because when you're in the hospital, listen, at the cafeteria they have all sorts of good food out there. They have whatever you want. Right? When you go to the clinic, somebody's bringing in kolaches or donuts and stuff like that. So exactly. So I think for me, just regardless of whatever the rotation is, if it becomes more busy and I have to work more hours, I would try to alter, my food discipline. Making sure that, okay, I know that I won't be able to go to the gym today, so it's more imperative that I eat healthy, or I'm not eating trash, or I even bring my lunch to the hospital, so I know what I'm putting in my body. So so to kind of round up your question, I think it would just I would try to alter more of what I'm eating rather than the exercise, because the exercise can be kind of difficult, more difficult.
I think that's smart too. That's probably what I would do as well too. The exercise is a lot harder to control than what you eat each day, especially as you get better as a cook. Start to pre-med. It takes time, man. Like, I'm not a chef. I just get by with what I enjoy eating. Just pop it in the oven, whatever you gotta do. So at the end of each episode, I like for our guests to leave a piece of advice. It can be a quote, a mantra, something that you live by within the realm of health, fitness, and wellness that you find has been helpful for you along your journey. So what can you leave with our listeners?
So I wouldn't really, I don't necessarily have like a quote, like a philosophical quote in regards to health, but I just think that I would just say, another day is another opportunity. I think that regardless of however you feel today, you can always get up the next day and make a difference and improve yourself. And I just think that if you just kind of take that mentality and build on it, day by day, I think you can start seeing some really gradual changes. That's what I do, and I'm doing okay. So,
for sure, man. I appreciate that, man. I like that. What was that again? You said each day is
Yeah, so what? Man, I don't even remember the quote. I just came over with it. I think I said, another day is another opportunity.
Another day is another opportunity. I like that. Very nice.
Yeah.
Way to wrap it up. Well, you're familiar with this podcast. I like to wrap it up with some quick fire questions to see how Mr. Swaney minds things. And so here we go. Are you ready?
Oh man, I was born ready. Come on.
Throw it at you. Here we go. First thing you think of when you wake up?
What time is it?
Me too.
What time is it? Because I think that, like, listen, it's hard for me to wake up. So I gotta look at my phone and look, because I set about like 5 alarms. So I have to make sure that I'm up by the 3rd or 4th alarm. So, when I'm waking up, I'm just like, okay, like, have I woken up before? Like, is this my first time waking up? So, yeah.
Time is always the first thing. You're the first person that said that. I'm always thinking, what time is it?
Yeah, time, for sure. I need to know. I gotta be at the hospital at some early time, so I need to know the time, yeah.
All right, would you rather be a master of every musical instrument or fluent in every language?
Oh man, fluent in every language. Come on, man. Listen, if you could just, go to China, you're speaking Mandarin, hopping, you go to Spain, you're speaking Portuguese. Listen.
That would be pretty dope.
Yeah. So all languages.
Would you rather be a deep sea diver or an astronaut?
Deep sea diver.
Deep sea diver. Would you rather take 100,000 guaranteed or a 50-50 shot at $1 million?
100,000 guaranteed. Sure.
I'll take that. Yep. Tacos or pizza?
Pizza.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Breakfast or dinner?
Breakfast.
Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube, by the way.
Money or free time?
Free time.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
What did Swaney want to be as a kid growing up?
Okay, so before the whole before like the whole doctor thing, man, I wanted to be like a sports broadcaster.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I love sports, man. I used to love watching ESPN.
I can actually see you doing that.
Really?
That's interesting.
Hey, man, listen. Cool. ESPN, holla at me.
Yeah.
FS1, holla at me.
There you go, man. That's a good one. One famous person, dead or alive, you'd love to have dinner with?
Nikola Tesla.
Who's that? I don't.
That's the person who actually created the light bulb. Thomas Edison gets all the credit, but it was really Nikola Tesla. He's created a lot of interesting things, man. I waste my time with a lot of like useless knowledge, and so I just found, I kind of found his stories a little bit interesting. So that's just the first person that came to mind.
There you go, man. What do you think you guys are talking about?
Man, just like where the space he was in to create something like the light bulb. I mean, this is something that we're using, every day. And it's like, he created this, I think, back in like the 1800s. So it's like, man, like the brain power, just what it took to even like put that together, I think would be pretty
Cass was rolling with candles.
Exact facts. You know that, facts.
Last question, man. If you could be any animal in the world, what would you be and why?
Ooh, that's a good question. Oh, man. What's something that's like protected? Probably a lion.
That's my guy, man. You're like the 4th lion on here. That's
lions are protected, man. People don't mess with the lion.
Exactly, king of the jungle.
Exactly. People don't mess with the lion.
Pass.
Yeah.
None of these have right or wrong answers, but that's definitely one that has a right answer.
Okay, hey, I like that.
All day.
I like that.
Man, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it, man. It's freaking Thursday night, so I know you got work tomorrow morning. You're in the middle of rotations.
Yeah.
But you came out and you showed your family love.
Oh, come on. Anytime for family, man. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And good luck on your journey going forward, brother.
For sure. Thank you.